Welcome back to the third and final installment of our series on NewBeauty's Best of Beauty Award winners. So we have saved the best for last, of course, and welcome back to the podcast, please, Miss Brittany Haley. It's so good to see you again.
You too. Thanks for having me.
So we're going to cover 6 different treatments today, Brittany, and you're going to give us the lowdown on all of them, and then we'll close out sort of with the cost of each treatment as well. So, and whether, you can do that at La Jolla or Carlsbad. So we'll talk about each of these winners in the devices category. So how's that sound?
That sounds perfect.
Good. Okay, so there's 2 body treatments that we're going to talk about and 4 face treatments in this group of laser and energy device winners. So let's start with the body, and then we'll move on to the face. So the first winner is in the category of non-invasive fat reduction, and it's the super popular CoolSculpting+Elite. So tell us, Brittany, a little bit about this really popular treatment and why, what it is and sort of why it works.
Absolutely. So CoolSculpting is our completely non-invasive device for fat reduction specifically. It works by cryolipolysis. I'm going to mess up that word already. Cryolipolysis. So it's basically a spot treatment using specialized applicators that we fit onto different pockets of fat on the body. And then it uses cooling to freeze the fat cells. And then, they break up and reabsorb. So one treatment will reduce about 25 to 30% of the fat cells that it can hold in its applicator. And then super important, CoolSculpting has been around for a couple of years, but it's also gone through many, many upgrades. The first machines we had early in 2014. They had an upgrade again in 2017. They had one since then. And then the latest upgrade happened recently, and it's called the CoolSculpting+Elite. And it is elite for many, many reasons. Not only has the treatment time been reduced to be a lot quicker, they've actually redone the cup of the applicator to make it a little bit more of a gentler C shape rather than a long U shape, which means that the machine doesn't have to put as much suction on the area to pull the fat up, and it treats actually a bigger surface area quickly and safer. So we found with these new applicators, they're more effective. They treat larger areas, and they have much, much reduced complications. So very safe treatment.
Oh, that's good. So now, as far as on the body, like where can you treat on the body?
Many areas, anywhere that you can pinch or that is a spot treatment, you can effectively treat. Most popular areas are definitely abdomen, bra line areas. We have applicators that also can treat flat areas. You can treat outer thighs, inner thighs. And then we even have a small applicator that treats little pockets of fat under the chin, in the axillary area, and then even on the tops of the knees. So a broad, a vast amount of areas. One limitation is that it can't treat circumferentially, so it can't treat all the way and around in a circle. So if you aren't sure about that, I'd recommend scheduling a consult or talking with one of our coordinators to see if it is an area that you can treat. But most areas that people are concerned about, we can treat.
So, and I think does it also do arms?
Yes, absolutely. And we have a few different sizes, so we do really customize the treatment for arms. I just had one yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yep. And I did 2 different sizes on each of her arms because she had a couple different areas of fat pockets. But it is an awesome treatment for arms, so very popular area.
And is it a procedure that could be helpful for a wide variety of people? Like, who's a good candidate?
Yes, being a good candidate, you do have to have enough fat to pinch an inch. And so if you have less fat than that, it's you probably aren't a candidate to have fat reduction in the first place. If you are extremely obese, it may not be the best treatment for you. Other than that, I mean, most people are a candidate to have the treatment done.
And are there sort of different treatment, how do I say this? Like, how many treatments would you recommend for one area? Is it like arms you get 2 and tummy you get 4? Or how do you guys come up with the right number of treatments?
Great question. And it really varies per person and how much fat you have. So that one you do need to schedule a consult for. And during the consultation, we pinch the fat, we assess it. We determine how many treatments that it will take. In some cases, I have patients who do see a good result with 1 treatment. But I would say on average, most people do 2 treatments to the area.
And then how long does it take to see results? Like if you've got to plan ahead for you're trying to get into a little black dress or something for an event, how far ahead should you be planning?
This is another advantage of the Elite system is people do see results faster.
Oh.
I have some patients tell me they see thinning of the fat pad sometimes as soon as 2 weeks.
Wow.
And by 6 weeks, you definitely see a change, but full result can take 8 to 12 weeks. So if you have a little beach soiree you're planning for, I would probably give yourself a good 2 to 3 months before.
Okay. So get started. And then is that fat removal permanent?
It is permanent. So once we have destroyed a fat cell, it is permanently gone and it will not come back.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's a really good thing. So for the audience, the cost of a sculpting treatment here at La Jolla Cosmetic starts at $750 per area or per applicator. So let's pretend you're doing your arms. You've got 2 arms and you might have 2 applicators. You might have 4 applicators. That's where the consult comes in with Brittany or any of our other providers. But that is that kind of the list price. So if you're a member of our Glam Fam members get better pricing all year round. We do package pricing. So sort of if okay, I'm going to do these 4 areas and it might take 2 or 3 sessions, then we can help you come up with a package price. So that brings that cost way down for you. So one other thing to mention. So if you are a member of Ali Rewards, which is part of the Allergan program for their rewards for their members, so you get discounts on Botox and Latisse and Skin Medica and DiamondGlow and the Juvederm products and also CoolSculpting. That's part of that same family. So you there's sometimes different rewards, and you also, when you're making purchases within that family, then it's going into your account to give you bonus money back or money towards something else that you might be thinking of having. So that's a really, really good benefit and another way to sort of double dip your savings. So before we move on to the next body treatment winner, is there anything, Brittany, that I might have missed or you might have wanted to add before we head out of CoolSculpting?
No, what I'm excited about, and we're going to dive into this with the next question, is other things we can combine with CoolSculpting. So we'll kind of lead into that with our next
I'm excited about this, and I think I might know what you're talking about. So the other body treatment winner getting the Best of Beauty award in the category of microneedling treatment for the body is Morpheus8. So first, Brittany, tell us a little bit about microneedling and what it's used for, and then how Morpheus8 kind of maybe makes it better than normal or ordinary microneedling.
Absolutely. And I'm really loving this treatment. I'm really excited about it. So microneedling, really what it means is we're using physical micro needles, so very tiny needles, to put a very controlled little needle prick into the skin. And then our body responds to that by building collagen. It activates the healing response to help with skin quality, skin health, smoothing of fine lines, pores, all of that. But with microneedling radiofrequency, and Morpheus is the device that we have this, not only is it putting in the needles, when they go in, it's submitting a surge of electric energy, so radiofrequency. So when you put in that microneedling and submit heat, what happens is the skin contracts more. So we get more results with skin tightening. And Morpheus8 in particular has a body hand tip that goes to a depth of 7 millimeters into the skin. And in addition to that, this tip on Morpheus, it's called Morpheus 3D. It has a larger spot size of needles, and it has the ability to put pulses into 3 different depths and submit energy into each of these pulses with each basically hand stamp. So that means you're getting treatment in 3 depths of your skin all at once, which is amazing when it comes to timing of the procedure. So the procedure is very quick. We're able to hit multiple layers very quickly. It goes deep enough at that level to do some restructuring of the fat cells. Mm-hmm. So you can get a little bit of tightening and reduction of fat. And at the same time, what you're getting is this massive burst of skin tightening. So this device is just really shining on the body. I've seen some incredible results, especially in the abdominal area. For those who have a little bit of loose skin, especially postpartum or after children or even with age, when our skin quality isn't the same, this is definitely a transformative treatment in that area.
And so you kind of alluded to the fact that maybe it could be combined with CoolSculpting+Elite, and how would that work?
Absolutely. And I had just a phenomenal result just recently with this combination. And so when we're doing an assessment, we're assessing for pockets of fat and where they are, and then also quality of the skin on top of that. If you remove fat and the skin is poor quality, it will cause more rippling of the skin and look worse potentially. So when we have an area where we do have some fat pockets and we want to get rid of those fat pockets, we also are worried about skin quality. The combination of CoolSculpting with Morpheus is really, really powerful. So you can spot treat those areas that need the fat reduction, in particular with CoolSculpt, and then quickly come in with Morpheus to tighten that skin on top of it. And it really is providing a phenomenal result in this matter. And also maybe patients who we weren't sure about CoolSculpting because they did have some skin laxity. This can help make them a candidate.
And I'm thinking about inner thighs. Is this something that might be good for the inner thighs? Because I know that, a lot of us will have extra fat there, but then if you, like you said, if you took that away, will the skin be able to be tight enough? Would this be a good spot for the Morpheus 8?
So with Morpheus 8, there is no limitation to where we can treat. We can treat anywhere on the body. We don't have to worry about spot treating. We can treat circumferentially, so we can treat all the way around the thigh, all the way around the leg. And so there's no limit to what area of the body you can treat. So
in terms of, any patient stories that you can think of where you were just talking about one where it was CoolSculpting and the Morpheus 8, what body parts have you seen really good results in that combo?
I would say where I've really just seen this as a slam dunk is the abdomen. And I just feel like that's just such a common issue with women. And having this device allows us to treat such a bigger spectrum of patients that have a little bit of that laxity and want to do a treatment. They want to avoid a tummy tuck at all costs. And so this is something that is a game changer for that demographic.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Now, the Morpheus 8, is that something that you could, have today and go to the beach in a couple of days? Or what's the recovery like? And when do you start to see results?
The recovery with Morpheus is quick, but there is a little bit of recovery time. With microneedling, because we are using tiny little needles, right after the treatment takes place, you will see a reaction in the skin. You're going to see some things happening. You'll see some redness, some swelling, sometimes even some tiny, tiny little bits of pinprick bleeding in some spots. What's amazing is how fast that resolves in 24 hours. So 24 hours later, the majority of the redness clears. On the body, though, it is common to have a little bit of a light grid mark where the pulses have gone in for 10 to 14 days. On average, they pretty much are gone by 10 to 14 days. So you'd want about a 2-week period before you had to be out in a bathing suit, sun exposure, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And as far as results, I have seen evidence that you could be seeing reduction in fat pad loss as early as 2 weeks. And then the results with skin tightening do take a little bit of time. Normally by 6 weeks, we're definitely seeing some changes, and best result is at 12 weeks.
Oh, nice. Okay. And then how long would the results last? Is this something you have to do again in another time, or do you do it in like a series, or, give us an idea of kind of what that looks like?
Absolutely. So we do typically recommend a series of 3 treatments. Sometimes I am surprised by the results I see even from one, but we are recommending a series of 3. So series of 3, 6 to 8 weeks apart. The results on the skin don't go away. It's not a treatment like Botox where the product is out of your skin and gone in 3 months. What it does is permanently set you back in time. So although we can't stop our clocks in terms of aging of the skin, it will set you back, multiple years back in skin quality. And then maintenance, I recommend generally once a year.
Okay. And then would that be another series of 3 once a year, or maybe just a touch up?
Usually just a touch up, so 1 treatment.
Okay. And even though we've been talking today about the Morpheus8 for the body, you do use that in the face as well. And we have upcoming a live event where we're going to be featuring everything you need to know about the Morpheus8. And so I'll put in the show notes a link so you can register for that. And it's an on-demand event too. So if you can't make it to the live event, you still register and we send you a link and you can listen at your leisure. So before we move on to the next thing, I just want to let everybody know that the Morpheus8 treatment at La+Jolla+Cosmetic starts at $850. We, again, have that better pricing through the Glam Fam. So that, would come down depending on, what areas. They'll let you know at your consult kind of what you'd be looking at. And then we use Cherry financing, and they are great if you want to spread your treatment payments over time. So that's something else we have on our website, a financing calculator and pre-approval, super easy. So I highly recommend that. Now, in our Morpheus8, you need to go to our Carlsbad location, which if you haven't been there yet, it's absolutely exquisite. So it's worth the trip. You're going to have a wonderful treatment in a beautiful surrounding up there, just like at La Jolla. So moving on to the face. So I'm combining the next 2 winners together. And they're 2 of the best facials you can get anywhere. Absolutely. And so winning the award for the best exfoliating facial is the DiamondGlow, and winning in the category of hydrating facial is the HydraFacial. And we have both of those technologies in our office. So Brittany, I know you're not an esthetician, so you're working with the lasers and a whole bunch of other things that are,
They all come together though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So have you had either of these facials before?
I have, and I personally am a huge fan of the HydraFacial. It's my very favorite facial treatment. And both of these facials are medical grade facials done with a device. And so they're just going to offer you more in terms of results with your skin than a traditional facial. And our wonderful estheticians also make you feel very relaxed during the treatment, which is another bonus. But the HydraFacial really stands out for its ability to use a device to infuse hyaluronic serum into the skin. So that's sealing in water to your skin and really just giving you that fresh glow. Your skin looks amazing immediately after. It looks even better the next day. And it is still customized to your individual needs. So our estheticians do a great job of this, of, finding out what bothers you. Is it a little bit of acne, hyperpigmentation, that kind of thing, and other spots where you're really dry or need more exfoliation, and they customize it completely to your needs. But HydraFacial is definitely my favorite facial treatment that we offer here.
And I'm also a big fan of HydraFacial, but I did have the DiamondGlow. And so the DiamondGlow is very similar because it's extracting and infusing and doing all these great things. And it uses a diamond tip so it can help, exfoliate. And it also will infuse this different serums, and you can customize that. And that's part of that Allergan family again. So you can, earn some rewards while you're busy getting your glow on. And both of those are, in the $225 to $300 range. It depends on which infusions you choose, et cetera, because they can all be customized. And I think our estheticians do a beautiful job of really, we have more than one technology sometimes that might work for somebody. And so, if they have to pull from this machine or that machine, they're going to make it customized for you and help you get to that skincare goal. And really, they like to have a good consultation with you before you start so they can make sure they're really addressing all the things that you're trying to get, the goals you have for your skin. And and these facials take, less than an hour. It's very nice. It's, it's not a foo-foo facial. It's not like you're getting a massage. You're really having a medical grade treatment. And I think, Brittany, that's something that, you do a lot of combination treatments,
Absolutely.
right? With the estheticians and then your laser patients.
Skincare is a huge part of it, and I'll make treatment plans for patients where we're alternating, a laser treatment with an exfoliating facial and that kind of thing. And I will add too that our master esthetician, Cameron Bessie, is actually a national trainer for DiamondGlow.
Yeah,
so quite a big honor, and pretty cool that we have her at our practice.
Yeah, exactly. Now, our next category winner is in the category of non-surgical skin tightener. And this winner is a technology that we've had since we opened, which is called Ultherapy. So Brittany, tell us a little bit about Ultherapy. What does it do and who's it good for?
Absolutely. So Ultherapy is a skin tightening device, non-surgical, that uses ultrasound to help us visualize different layers of the skin and then put an ultrasound pulse into the appropriate layer. So we are able to put a little pulse down into the dermal layer and then also into the epidermal layer of the skin, so 2 layers. And it is more of a 1 or 2 time treatment. Treatment's results are seen early. You can see them sometimes as early as 2 weeks. And this is also a treatment that is safe to do year round because it does not make you photosensitive to the sun. So this is a fabulous summertime treatment. My patients are thrilled with this treatment. It really stands out on the neck, the jawline, and upper face as well. You can do some nice things with the brow, and there is absolutely no downtime. So that makes it just a really nice option.
You did it for me way back when, and I know it's had a lot of upgrades since then because this is literally 10 years ago. But I went to a meeting. I had a meeting for a committee I was on that night, and I felt a little bit puffy, but nobody there had any clue. Like, of course, I opened my mouth. I'm like, I had this treatment today, and they're like, what? But yeah, I mean, it was really, and I think one of the best things that we've added for treatments like this, because it was a little uncomfortable for me. So we now have the Pronox and some things where that can really help make it a more comfortable treatment than, it was 10 years ago. So we have there's been improvements in the technology too, right?
Technology, handpiece improvement, and then also just methods and areas that we do, techniques have evolved since then, where we're really doing a very precise treatment. We've learned more about reading the ultrasound on the device and making sure that we're targeting the energy in the right place. And we definitely offer, we do offer the Pronoc, which is definitely a game changer. So we are able to make the treatment very, very comfortable.
And Ultherapy, you were talking about face and neck, but I think you can do it on the body too. Isn't that right?
You can. The chest is another area that is popular for those, lines, sleep lines in the middle of the chest. I've done small areas on knees and backs, that kind of thing. But the place where it really shines, in my opinion, definitely is the neck.
And then how long does it take to get the result that you might say, okay, however many weeks, or do you feel it right away?
It's similar to other, non-surgical skin tightening devices where you may see some changes as early as 2 weeks, but you're going to see your best result at 12 weeks.
Okay. And then is it okay for all skin types or colors of skin?
It is. It is safe for all skin types all year round.
And I remember, I know they don't have her as the face of Ultherapy anymore, but Christy Brinkley is like the best walking advertisement.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously she has great genes, but, you know, she really had, you know, a beautiful result. And I think what I love about Ultherapy is the fact that, first of all, there's no telltale signs you've had anything done. So if you want to keep it on the down low, you can. If you're a man, same thing. You know, you're not having scars or anything else that's kind of going to give away that you had a treatment. And it's really natural. You know, it's building that collagen slowly over time. It's a natural result. And I think a lot of people really like that.
I think that's a huge, attractive thing about the treatment is it's natural. It's building your own collagen from just an ultrasound pulse. We're not injecting anything into your skin. There's no cutting, no scars. So completely non-invasive and something that you look better and no one can really tell you what you did or can tell. They just know you look better.
Yeah. And is that something that you also combine with other procedures for some people?
Absolutely. And like I was saying, we see great results with Ultherapy on the neck and the jawline, and we do have a CoolSculpting applicator that does fit under the chin. So if you do need that fat reduction and skin tightening as well, you can combine those treatments for a great result. And I do sometimes also combine it with the last treatment that we'll be talking about. So we'll talk more about that in just a minute. That's
a good segue. And then last, is Ultherapy something... I mean, I'm sure just like getting our hair done, I'm going to say like, do you have to do it again? But, you know, a lot of times we do think like, is this a one and done? Is this a series? Or do you have it like once every few years? What is kind of the treatment plan, I guess?
The plan is once a year. You know, our skin is an ever-changing organ. And so you'll see nice changes, but it's something that we probably should have done once a year to maintain.
Okay. Lastly, is there anybody who is not a good candidate for Ultherapy? Are there any medical conditions or anything that would keep someone from being a good candidate?
There are just a few that would make someone not a good candidate, and that would be just, you know, so much excess skin that they really are a surgical candidate where they're not going to see a huge improvement from Ultherapy, and that's something we could definitely tell you at a consultation. And then some autoimmune conditions. And, you know, if you have a lot of major health issues, this treatment does rely on your healing response to give you those results. So if you're taking something to suppress your immune system, it may not be the best treatment for you.
Ah, interesting. Now, two things I want to tell everybody is kind of the cost starts around $1,100, $1,150. Again, we have financing available. It does depend on which areas you're having treated. If you're just doing your face or face and neck or face, neck, chest, you know, all of that's going to change your treatment cost. And of course, that's it. GlamFam is going to give you a better price because you're going to get that special 15% off automatically and sometimes up to 20% depending on how many areas that you might be putting together. And then again, financing is a great way to, you know, make this like a reality next week because again, like Brittany said, it's an all year long treatment. You know, you could have it now during the middle of summer and still, you know, be healing and then enjoying your results as that you get closer to the fall and the holidays. So the other thing I wanted to say is we'll put a link in the show notes. We did a live event, which is now on demand last summer, all about Ultherapy. So it's like soup to nuts, everything you need to know, lots of before and after pictures, lots of great information. So we'll put a link to that as well. And we had Corey Dillon, who's on a Big 100 FM. She had it done last year. And so we have some of her treatment in that on-demand session. You'll see some of her treatment. We have a video. She also posted about it, and we also had her on the podcast talking about it. So she was a really big fan because, you know, even though she's in radio, her face is all over social media, and she does her live casts. And so, you know, she wants to kind of do something to keep age away and she chose Ultherapy, and she really liked it. So, so the last winner for the NewBeauty Awards is a total multitasking laser, and that's what it won for. It's the HALO laser, which you may remember from our annual Mother's Day contest, Give Your Mom a Halo. So let's talk, Brittany, about HALO and why this is like the winner in the multitasking laser category.
This is one of my favorite treatments, and I definitely agree with the category of winning multitasking, because HALO is a laser that can do so many things. It is a wonderful treatment for hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, pores, scars, surgical scars. There's just such a wide variety of things that can be helped with HALO. Most of the time it's used for hyperpigmentation of the skin, fine lines, wrinkles, that kind of thing. But I've used it as well on things like stretch marks, wide variety of scars, and seen, wonderful results with this laser.
And you are the laser queen. You're a national trainer for Sciton. Am I right?
Yes, and this is one of Sciton's devices, so it is one of my favorite, of course.
And we did do an episode on the podcast entitled Sandra's Story, How We Reversed Decades of Sun Damage. And I highly recommend to the audience that you listen if you're thinking about doing a HALO, because she has a great story. And I think, you'll find that really helpful to hear it from somebody who's gone through it and is sort of an advocate for how it has helped her over the years. And we'll put that link in the show notes. So I guess we were talking about summertime treatment. So is HALO something you can do in the summer, or something you'd rather wait till another part of the year?
So HALO is a laser resurfacing device that does make you more photosensitive. And so summertime may not be the right time for everyone. It's something where you do want to be very careful in the sun for 2 weeks prior and about 6 weeks after your treatment. However, I do see many teachers who have summers off and that kind of thing who do this treatment in the summer. So it can be done as long as you're compliant. So hat and sunscreen, which we all should do anyways, you could do this treatment anytime. But typically, most patients plan to do this treatment in the cooler months. Okay. This treatment is one of the best ones that I know of to help reverse sun damage. So it will treat actinic keratoses, so precancers and benign sunspots. And so we definitely don't want to be, out there reversing any progress we've made from the laser while we're in that laser interim process.
Right. And what would be, I guess, the downside? Like if you, is it just because you're much more sensitive? So then if you get some sun, would you be more likely to have a reaction or get a brown spot, or what would happen?
One of the risks with laser treatments in general is something called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And so this is when you've done a treatment, whether it's a laser or other device treatments as well, and you go out in the sun, and it could trigger your skin to hyperpigment, so to make more pigment. So we definitely wouldn't want to be doing laser at a time when we know you're going to have planned sun exposure in that first 6 weeks to 6 week timing.
Yeah. And I remember Cameron talking about, she was talking about the perfect derma peel, and she was talking about melasma. And I remember her saying something that I had never known, which had to do with heat. And that, like, at really hot times of year, your body can be stimulated from a pigment point of view. Did I get that right?
No, it is right. So melasma, so hormonal hyperpigmentation, it can be triggered by heat as well as sun. And so, do you want to be careful of keeping your skin cool, especially immediately post-treatment? Avoiding, saunas and steam rooms and sources of excessive heat for a short time period.
And then sort of is the recovery, like, give us a kind of a timeline of, and actually I'm asking the question and I'm already thinking about some answer of it, but Dr. Swiston had the halo last year, and
Yes.
he posted every single day what he looked like.
I love that.
Yeah. And he was really swollen and sort of, red the next morning. I mean, really, he goes on, I didn't prop myself up. I probably should have done that when I was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But, he had it, I think, on a Thursday maybe. And on Monday, he's back to work and he looked great. So it was like a 5-day. Is that for most people about
That's very
4 or
typical.
5 day?
I tell most patients, if you do the treatment on a Thursday, you're going to be comfortable going back to normal routine probably on Monday. It's really the first 3 days where you do have some swelling. You're going to be a little red. Your skin actually feels like very light sandpaper-ish texture, and you see it pull up the sunspot. So it's very rewarding. But it is a couple days where you may want to be, indoors and away from, public eye for a little bit. Swelling varies a lot per person. So it's not something we can always predict. But what we do know is that on day 3, it's really a turnaround point. So usually by day 3, the swelling is subsiding. We do allow you to wear some clean makeup on day 3. So returning back to normal schedule is pretty doable for most people.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And then when is the result? Like, how long do you start to see a result after the treatment?
So at the week point, you already see vast improvements with pigmentation. So that's like your immediate reward. Like, oh my gosh, all these spots have come off at a week. It looks, the color's beautiful. And then over the next 12 weeks, you'll see results with improvement of texture of skin. So it's smoothing of pores and fine lines and tightening of skin. Those results take a little bit more time to see. You'll see some nice signs of them by 4 to 6 weeks, and you'll see best result at 12 weeks.
And then I remember Cameron talking about something like the post-hydration facial or post-laser hydration. What do you have your patients do after their treatment?
Yes, absolutely. And this is where, working with our estheticians and device treatments, they come so close in hand. And we really have nailed down just a wonderful system for our patients here, where we take you from consultation to your 12-week point post-laser. Typically after treatment, I follow up with patients very closely, emailing pictures, that kind of thing. And then they come in for their first in-person follow-up at 2 weeks. And at that appointment, we get a first set of progress photos. We can see nice results with pigment at that point already. And then they have an appointment with our esthetician to hydrate their skin and to get on skincare. So I highly encourage patients to bring in their own skincare products, or we'll customize a system, especially for their concerns, to get them on good skincare and protect their investment. So we make that super easy. Cameron writes down the regimen for you and it helps incorporate your own skincare products. And then we want to see you back, ideally, for a medical grade facial, around the 6-week mark, so we can get another set of progress photos. And then we've given you the tools that you need to keep your skin in shape to maintain these results long term.
Yeah, that's really your phrase about protecting your investment. That's a huge one, because there are, these things are an investment, but using good skincare products, having a good regimen, is going to make that your results really last. And is this something that, again, is that a one and done, or is it, a series, or how often do people typically get them done?
So Halo is such a customized treatment. I do also combine it with many other things depending on particular needs. I will do specific treatments to add on treatment for broken capillaries or sebaceous hyperplasia or things on the skin. And so it's something where you really need to have a customized consult. Typically for pigmentation, one treatment may be enough. For those who need a big improvement with texture and acne scarring, I usually do recommend 2 treatments, and then a maintenance treatment once a year.
Okay. And then the cost of that starts at $1,800. Again, that's the list price, not the Glam Fam price. And again, this is where that cherry financing comes in, because you really can take, get all the areas done that you want to do and heal one time rather than doing your face and then I'll do my neck in a couple months. Like, no, get it all done together and you'll have a nice blended result. And then, by using financing, if that's something you want, you can pay over time. And I think that's a really nice way to kind of take these procedures that end up being a tiny bit more costly and making them really cost effective and budget friendly. And this is something that, we don't have every device at both locations, but certainly many of the ones we talked about, we do have in both locations. And HALO is one of those that we have in La Jolla or Carlsbad, right, Brittany?
It is. I can add on that. So just in terms of location, HALO is one that we have at both locations, as is CoolSculpting. Ultherapy is available at our La Jolla location, and Morpheus8 is located at our Carlsbad location.
Yeah, and that makes it kind of fun because we get around. We get up and down the freeway.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing I was going to say, but now I've forgotten it, so I'm not going to say it. So let's see. Oh, I know. I wanted to ask you about MOXI because MOXI wasn't an award winner, but tell me about HALO by MOXI or MOXI by HALO or whatever. It's a combo or something.
Definitely. So MOXI is a newer laser, and I kind of call it sometimes a baby HALO. If you're not quite there, you're not ready to do something that has, a few days of puffiness and swelling. MOXI is a great one for you to kind of start with, and it's wonderful for pigmentation. It's a little bit easier to do in summer months. It's wonderful for melasma. It's safe for all skin types. It's a quicker treatment. It's very comfortable with just some numbing cream. And it's a great treatment for rejuvenation. So for those younger patients as well who want some polishing and some pigment off, really don't need something like the HALO yet. That's a great way to do, a nice treatment that's a little bit less intense.
And do we have the MOXI at both locations?
We have
as well?
MOXI at our La Jolla location.
At La Jolla, okay. Now, Brittany, you're going both. You go work at Carlsbad and La Jolla, is that right?
I do. You do. Yes.
We share the wealth. You get to go everywhere.
I love our Carlsbad location. I am there every Wednesday. And so I still am in La Jolla Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. But I love my Carlsbad Wednesdays. It's a beautiful neighborhood. La Costa is so nice and a lovely building. Very easy to park, good for very quick in and out, and just very spacious and just beautiful inside. I mean, that patient lounge.
Oh, I know.
Is so pretty. Yes.
It really is pretty. We have a special place for, people to have their numbing cream and just prep, in a lovely little relaxing spot. So I think we covered everything. And thanks everybody for listening. And thank you, Brittany, for sharing your wealth of knowledge. I just love talking to you about all these devices because you have so much experience with them. And obviously being a national trainer for Sciton, that, people are getting to have your knowledge shared all around the country, but we get the benefit of you treating our patients. So that's a really wonderful thing.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming. I know you're always so busy.
Pleasure.
It's hard to get you on the podcast. So thank you for giving us the time today. And for the audience out there, don't miss our first 2 episodes where we're talking about the other NewBeauty Award winners. Check your show notes for links to everything we talked about today. We did talk about a lot of things, but there's a lot of good things in there. And again, thanks, Brittany. It's always such a treat to have you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So we'll talk to you later.
Take a screenshot of this podcast episode with your phone and show it at your consultation or appointment, or mention the promo code podcast to receive $25 off any service or product of $50 or more at La Jolla+Cosmetic. La Jolla+Cosmetic is located just off the I-5 San Diego freeway in the Zymed building on the Scripps Memorial Hospital campus. To learn more, go to ljcsc.com or follow the team on Instagram at LJCSC. The La Jolla+Cosmetic podcast is a production of The Axis, TheAxis.io.